Hi, this is Jen Barney from the Toasty Meringue. I love Thin Mint cookies, and they're even better when you can make them from scratch in your own kitchen. I'm going to share with you this recipe from one of my favorite pastry chefs. Her name is Sherry Yard, and it's so simple. Let's just begin. In a food processor, and you will need a food processor for this, a blender just will not work. Combine all your dry ingredients. You're going to want to combine your cocoa powder, flour, baking soda, baking powder, sugar, and salt. Pulse all of your dry ingredients just until they're combined. Now it's time to add your cold butter to the mix. I'm adding this to the food processor. I'm going to start to pulse this until it's totally combined, but you don't want to combine it so much that it's totally clumped together. So you can see here it looks almost like loose sand, and that's exactly what you want to look for. So I'm adding my vanilla extract, 2 yolks. Now it's ready to add your peppermint. I prefer to use a mixture of peppermint oil and peppermint extract. The recipe that's in this cookbook will tell you just to use pure peppermint oil, but I found that for some reason it turns out just a little bit dry. So if you're able to get a hold of some peppermint oil, please do that and lace it in with just a little bit of peppermint extract as well. And that's where you're going to get the best results. And I'm going to pulse this until it just forms together. You can see here it kind of clumps together. What you're going to want to do is roll this into a log using some parchment paper. Let's get the elephant out of the room. There's no graceful way to say this. It looks like a big pile of you-know-what. But trust me, it tastes nothing like what it looks like. So we're going to form this into a log. And it is crumbly. It does take some time. But be patient. It's worth the effort. And once this is all formed, we're going to refrigerate it for at least a half an hour. Or you can freeze it for up to 3 months. I like to make large batches of this and then freeze the logs so I can quick grab them when I need to. This dough is nice and firm. It just came out of the refrigerator. And I'm applying some pressure and rolling just to clean up some of those edges. And I'm slicing them in nice, even slices. It's so important with this dough to cut in nice, uniform slices, because if you don't, you're going to have an uneven bake time, and some cookies are going to bake a little bit too long. If you want to take this a step further, go grab your circle cutters and clean up some of those edges even more. If you don't have a circle cutter, just get creative. Right here I'm using a bartender's tool. Because these are a brown cookie, it's really hard to know if they're done or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake off one cookie in advance, and that's going to show me how long I need to bake them off in my oven. While these are cooking, I'm going to start to melt my chocolate. Once my chocolate has fully melted over a double boiler, I'm going to add just a little bit of oil or coconut oil to it to help thin it out. For every 1 cup of chocolate, add about 1 tablespoon of oil. These cookies have cooled off and they're ready to start dipping. When I dip my cookies, I like to do a tap-tap motion. You'll see it right here. What that does is it suctions some of your excess chocolate off the surface, and it helps you get rid of some of that bulk chocolate that's hanging out on that cookie. Now all that's left is to wait for the chocolate to set up. I always say, if you're going to make dessert, let's do it right. Thank you so much for learning how to make these amazing Thin Mint cookies. As always, if you have any comments, please drop them below. And if you want to see what Brian and I have been up to lately, check out our website at www.meringuecakes.com.